Stephen A. Smith Show. Before I get on out of here, I had to talk about a story that's very, very important. And albeit indirect.
You would think that after shattering every viewership record in the history of college sports and single-handedly revitalizing the WNBA economy, the doubts surrounding Caitlin Clark would finally be put to rest. But if you thought the hate was over, you haven't been paying attention to what just happened at Madison Square Garden. Because Stephen A. Smith has just unleashed one of his most definitive tirades yet. And this time, it isn't just about her jump shot. It isn't about her turnovers. It's about what she did on live television during her NBC debut that has the entire sports media world scrambling for answers. The headline was supposed to be the Lakers versus the Knicks, a classic NBA showdown at the mecca of basketball. But by the time the night was over, nobody was talking about the final score. They were talking about the woman standing on the sidelines who looked Carmelo Anthony and Vince Carter in the eye and proved she didn't just belong there. She owned the room. But there is a much darker layer to this story that Stephen A. Smith is now exposing. A layer involving subtle disrespect, backhanded compliments from NBA legends, and a behind-the-scenes incident with Jamal Crawford that proves Caitlin Clark is not the sweet media darling everyone assumes she is. She is a ruthless competitor. The cameras caught the smiles. Stephen A. Smith caught the truth. And what he is confirming about her debut changes everything we thought we knew about her relationship with the NBA old guard. To understand why this moment was so explosive, you have to look at the stage NBC built for her. Because this wasn't just a random Tuesday night broadcast. This was the network's attempt to reclaim the throne of basketball coverage. And they knew the only way to guarantee eyeballs was to unleash the Clark effect, placing her center stage at Madison Square Garden, flanked by Hall of Famers like Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter, and Carmelo Anthony, men who define the last 2 decades of basketball. The critics were sharpening their knives before the cameras even rolled, flooding social media with comments that she would look awkward, that she wouldn't know how to analyze the men's game, or that she would be intimidated by the star power standing next to her. The classic boys' club gatekeeping she has faced since she first picked up a basketball. But when the red light turned on, something shocked producers and millions watching at home. She wasn't intimidated. She wasn't quiet. And she did not hold back. As Stephen A. Smith pointed out almost immediately, her body language wasn't that of a guest. It was the body language of a peer. She cut off legends to make sharp points about defensive rotations. She laughed through tension. She commanded the microphone. But the real story, the one Stephen A. Smith is now confirming with visible satisfaction, is what happened before the broadcast even fully began. A moment that wasn't fully scripted. A moment that revealed the monster behind that number 22 jersey. Reports surfaced, amplified by Smith, about a segment involving Clark and legendary ball handler Jamal Crawford. The plan was simple. A lighthearted game of horse branded for NBC, just to show off skills and have a laugh during the pre-game show. It was supposed to be fluff. It was supposed to be cute. But Caitlin Clark does not do cute when there's a rim involved. According to witnesses, later confirmed by members of the broadcast team, Clark lost the first round to Crawford. Most athletes in a promotional segment would laugh it off, shake hands, and move on. Not her. Sources say she immediately locked in, not rudely, but in that Jordan-esque, borderline psychotic competitive way we've heard about for years. She demanded a rematch. She demanded it become a best-of-3 series on the spot. She refused to let the segment end on a loss. And what happened next is exactly why Stephen A. Smith calls her the Golden Goose. She locked in and dismantled Crawford in the next 2 games, draining shots from the logo, talking trash the entire time, proving she didn't hold back because she simply couldn't. Stephen A. Smith used this moment to hammer home his main point. People keep mistaking her marketability for softness. They see the commercials, the Nike deals, the endorsements. They think she's hype. But strip away the cameras, and she is a stone-cold competitor who would rather die than lose a game of horse to a retired player in a suit. That refusal to lose set the tone for the entire night. But it also set the stage for the most disrespectful moment of the evening, a moment Stephen A. Smith is still fuming about. While Clark was holding her own and proving her basketball IQ, NBA legend Reggie Miller chimed in with a comparison that landed with a thud loud enough to echo across the internet. Attempting to compliment her game, he compared Caitlin Clark, the all-time leading scorer in NCAA history and a woman reshaping the economics of sports, to Peyton Pritchard. For context, Pritchard is a solid role player for the Boston Celtics, a good shooter, a high-effort contributor. But comparing Clark to a bench player, even a good one, was seen by many, including Stephen A. Smith, as a subtle minimization. Why not Steph Curry? Why not Luka Doncic? Why lower the bar? The camera caught Clark's face in that moment, a masterpiece of restraint. Her eyebrows lifted slightly as if to say, "Did he really just compare me to a backup guard?"
She didn't respond.
She didn't have to. The silence was deafening. Stephen A. Smith, however, was not silent. He exploded later, pointing out the absurdity of the double standard. If a male rookie came into the league averaging her numbers and selling out arenas, they'd be comparing him to Larry Bird or Magic Johnson. But because it's Clark, the bar keeps moving. The comparisons shrink. The old guard tries to keep her humble. Smith argued that her refusal to clap back on air showed more maturity than the Hall of Famer sitting next to her. She absorbed the insult, stored it, and continued dominating the broadcast, proving she understands the media game better than people who've worked in it for 30 years. And then the numbers came in, and they were nuclear. Over 4.5 million viewers tuned in, making it the most watched NBA game of the season that wasn't Christmas or opening night. A random midseason Lakers versus Knicks game became a cultural event.
Everyone knows why.
It wasn't the Knicks defense. It wasn't even LeBron James. It was Caitlin Clark. People tuned in to see if she would fail or if she would shine. Stephen A. Smith slammed his papers on the desk. She is the needle. He confirmed NBC executives are likely celebrating because they don't just have a WNBA star. They have a universal basketball personality. This is the nightmare scenario for her critics. The narrative that people are tired of her was shattered by 4.5 million viewers. Smith pointed out that this gives her unprecedented leverage. She's not just an employee of the WNBA. She's a partner to the NBA, to NBC, to Nike. Her performance at MSG signaled to every network executive that she is worth every penny of the massive contracts coming her way. And with that success comes resentment. Smith confirmed whispers are growing louder, that some in the basketball world hate this crossover, hate that she's blurring lines, wish she'd stay in a WNBA box. But she shattered the box. While Melo, Vince, and T-Mac were gracious and welcoming, a wider circle of pundits and insecure gatekeepers are seething, seeing her rise not as a tide lifting boats, but as a tsunami drowning competition. Smith's response?
Get over it.
She earned that seat.
She knew the stats.
Broke down pick-and-roll coverages. Corrected flawed analysis. She didn't giggle her way into that chair.
She worked for it.
And what threatens people most isn't her popularity. It's that she's popular and smarter than the people criticizing her. Stephen A. emphasized her chemistry with Carmelo Anthony, New York royalty. Real recognizes real. She didn't act like a fan. She acted like a contemporary. When she disagreed on shot selection and explained the analytics behind the long three, she was right. The silence afterward was respect forming in real time. NBC noticed. This wasn't a one-off. It was a soft launch of Caitlin Clark as a global media entity. The WNBA season is short. Her off-season value is enormous. She could become a regular NBA broadcast presence, bridging leagues in a way never seen before. Purists hate that idea, but money talks. And Caitlin Clark prints money. This wasn't just an entertaining debut. It was a hostile takeover disguised as a guest appearance. She walked into the lion's den and made the lions purr. Stephen A. closed with a warning. Every obstacle becomes fuel for her. Every insult becomes content. Every challenge becomes leverage. She didn't hold back at MSG, and she won't hold back next season. The revolution is televised, and it's wearing a headset at Madison Square Garden. If you thought this debut was something, wait until you see what comes next. Because if Stephen A. Smith is right, Caitlin Clark is just getting started. And the basketball world is nowhere near ready for what's coming.